good?
She's gonna have to make a call, she said.
Let's wait, or can you start the?
I don't think she reports the prayer, does she?
Yes, she does. I'm standing up with your phone.
Yeah, we'll set up for you. Okay, Monday, September 14th, 2015, 9 a.m. Wilson County Commissioners Court is now in session. We'll have a prayer by Dr. Johnny Teague, the senior pastor of the Church at the Cross.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and we praise God for y'all in Wilson County. Father, we thank you for this day. Father God, just the other day, an officer was killed up the street from my house, named Officer Goforth. And Father God, it seems in our day that there's not a respect for our leaders and our authorities that there should be. So Father, I thank you for our judge here. And I thank you for the commissioners and the clerk and the auditor and all of us assembled. I thank you, Father, for a county that begins with prayer. In Lee County, Father, they're trying to take "In God We Trust" off the bumper stickers off the police cars. So Father, there's pressure to remove you from everything. But I thank you, Father, that's not true in Wilson County. Father, I just pray you'll bless proceedings today. I pray you'll bless all who are here. I pray you'll bless this county financially, that you'll bless them with safety, that you'll bless them with respect to authority, that the young people will rejoice that they live in such a county. And Father God, we just thank you for all that you've done for us, for the day you've given us, for the filling of fall. And Lord Jesus, we love you, and it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Day of prayer.
Thank you. I'm a pastor in Houston. I also lead prayers across Texas.org. We, as a church, and with area churches and different religious organizations, we're going to every county courthouse and having a time of prayer to pray for y'all, to pray for our leaders and pray for our nation. I finished Amarillo Saturday and Pampa Saturday, and we're looking forward to the courthouse being open, and we'll get with the concerned citizens and churches, and we're just going to meet at the courthouse salon and pray for y'all and give God thanks for you, and also pray for our nation to return to what it ought to be, where police officers are safe and leaders are respected. My church got tagged last night by a gang, and then they stole our offering box. So that's real fresh with me. But I believe that we can be a better country, and I believe it starts with God and prayer. So we'll be setting that date and invite all of you to attend. And thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to item number 3, public comments. Did anybody sign up for
No,
public
sir,
comments?
nobody did.
Okay, we're going to item number 4, Tom Dubney, County Auditor's second tax rate hearing at 9 a.m. Notice of tax rate and revenue increase for year 2016.
We moved this one. I forgot the paperwork.
Okay, you got somebody bringing it?
Yeah.
We're going to come back to item 4.
Yes,
Okay, whenever they get here with the paperwork, then we'll, okay. Item number 5, certificates of completion.
I have one, Judge Thomas.
He filled this in himself. Okay, county auditors and certified public accountant certification for continuing education 2015 legislative conference August 26 to 28, 2015. Texas Association of Counties, LBJ School of Public Affairs at the University of Texas at Austin, Tom Dubnick, Wilson County Auditor. Okay. Now it's completed 11 CTEs. And Tom Dubnick, County Auditor, thank you. That's it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, item number six, public hearings, courthouse annex 1, 2, 3, updates, comments, and questions. Anybody have anything? I thought John was coming in with it. You have anything, John?
No, sir, not right now.
Okay, never fixed. Oh, there's one. Here we go.
Didn't seem to know that.
Okay.
Can you bring us up to date on the courthouse where we looking at?
What we're looking at the courthouse is our flooring and everything should be in the mid-October. I believe you told me it was 5 weeks out last week. So we're looking at the end of October to be able to turn that building over to y'all. At this point right now, we've got sheetrock going in, door frames, my electrical. We should be covering up floors back there. I think y'all seen where we had to cut floors out to be able to run new electrical and all. So we're headed in that direction. And like I said, stairwells, if y'all haven't seen the stairwells, I mean, we stripped the balusters down to just raw wood. We're going to be planning on finishing them with a natural finish. The stair treads were replaced with an oak stair tread, oak riser. Those as well will be just a light stain on them with a non-strip tape on the front. I think that's what we talked about, Lindsay. You know, it'll look pretty much going back to original looks, you know. If you have not seen them, I mean, Ricky, I don't know if you've seen them. It's a big difference from the painted ones that were there.
What we're concerned about as well is the original plan. We've been going back and forth over what's the best way to treat those stairs, because until they were all covered in that ropey rubber flooring, if you remember, for the longest time. When you start taking it up, you saw over time they chopped out center sections and piecemealed them back together again. So we were looking at the best way to either put like a carpet runner up it, or the best way to look at it. But when they put all the new treads back in, it looked so nice that we thought just see if we can keep it like it is. The traffic we think is going to be a little different anyway. Just Commissioners Court there now, and have a new courtroom over here. So we think it's going to stand up a lot better than it has in the previous history. So we'll have those treads on the front to create some tactility when you're walking up and down the stairs. But we'd really like to keep them as long as we could, if we can keep them like that, rather than having to put carpet or something else over the top.
It would just be a real shame to cover up the wood. You know, as a carpenter by trade, I think I threatened Lindsay if we painted those things or anything.
Absolutely. That's one of those ones on remodel, you've got to work at it and just see which we think is best at the time. And I think that he's exactly right. We just leave them as they are, but they're beautiful as they are.
How about the landscaping on the outside?
I've got numbers from that this week, or Friday, and I'm going to wait till after the peanut festival to do that, because that's, you know, I'd rather do it once. Any other questions?
On the Justice Center, how are they doing?
Justice Center, we're doing very well. I'm still looking at hopefully November, early December, at least for the office area. Within 30, 45 days after that, I'm hoping to be able to give y'all the courtroom. So I'm looking mid-January, probably to be 100%. We're pouring the last of our concrete. I think I have one more pour, small pour, and then I should be getting my site people in here hopefully next week, so we can start asphalt and everything around the perimeter and all.
And then we're going to get with, when we talked last week, we're going to find out where it works well for John's scheduling, and in terms of if we can get temporary CFOs to get maybe part of the departments into the building space, to see how we can logistically work with the city for what they'll allow us to do and what we can and can't do.
No, in other counties and all, we've been able to do that. They just say get those temporary CFOs. We've been able to work with the city fairly well right now. I'm hoping to be able to do the same here.
We are still planning on turning electricity off this weekend?
Yes, sir. Over at, the shutdown will affect Ms. Eva's building, the library, and the courthouse. We're getting into the transformer this weekend to repull new feeds for everything.
Extension office downstairs.
Think so. I'm sorry. I forgot about Brian.
It off.
It affects it all. Let's just say the whole building right there. Probation and the tax office, they're coming from separate meters. I think, John, correct me if I'm wrong, their internet comes separately from the tax office, right? But the phones come from over here.
Well, the tax office and the tax office, the Annex 3, and the library are fed internet service and phone service from the courthouse. So when we bring the courthouse down, it disconnects those services with the other facilities as well.
And we're planning on getting an early start on that again Friday evening at 6. We're planning a little after 6. So, John, for your information,
Thank you.
I'll be calling you anyway, but just so you know right now. So I said we want to do that just to get the demo out of the way Friday night.
Anything else? Thank y'all. Okay, we ready, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going back to item number 4, Tom Goodman, County Auditor, second tax rate hearing, 9 a.m. again.
Okay, we propose to the court that we keep the tax rate the same for this coming year, which will be .4738. Additional revenue that we are going to be getting next year will be $459,685.07 for new properties. However, our existing properties went down because of the minerals evaluation by $308,307.39, which give us a net of $151,377.68 additional ad valorem tax for next year. Okay. So, make sure commissioners still want to keep the tax rate the same for next year.
That sounds good. Next year, we can't lose any more next year.
Correct.
Correct.
Hopefully. Yes.
Well, we lost over 50% of what our royalties taxes were.
Yeah.
So if we lost over 50%, we can't lose that much again.
No, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
The subdivision goes great. I don't know how it would be. See if it slows down. Okay, item number 7, extension activity report handouts.
Yes, I've given you the handout, and Brian would like to give you an update.
Real quick, Commissioners, what we have is on the positions, the 4H position and the Family Consumer Science position within the Extension Office. The 4H position's been out for about a month now. They've gone through a first round of interviews, interviewed out of 20 applicants, interviewed 5 applicants. They did not see anybody that they felt suited. And then opened it back up to the street. They have had some more applicants. They're going to be interviewing 3 more applicants this week for the 4H position. The Family Consumer Science position went out on the street Friday, and we've had several people already show interest in that, as well as one of the other applicants within the 4H position. We are kind of trying to direct towards that Family Consumer Science position. Feel like hopefully both of them have somebody in both those positions in the next 45 days. Now within the county, depending on if they're internal or not, it could be 60 to 75 days to have them in the county.
Okay, so will they be filled about the same time, or is 4H going to be filled first? Or?
Hopefully the 4H will be filled first, being that it probably will be an external applicant. Then we try to get them over to another county to first step, kind of a mentorship type program before we bring them in here to go through rules.
Okay. So we've got another 45 days.
Right, 45 days.
By yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, that's a week at 10 o'clock. We'll come back to item number 8 at 10 o'clock. Okay, now we're going to item number 9, fall file, Commissioner Precinct 2, request to give variance to Amy and John Neville of Moyes Landing.
Judge, I give each commissioner a copy of the recommendation from the county attorney office. And this is,
Got it, you can.
keep going. Bill, got here? And what the grandmother is wanting to give the granddaughter, 2.995 acres off of Moyes Landing. And they're just asking for a variance because it's off of a private lane. And if you read what the attorney said, county attorney, the recommendation, that it should be part of that land, which it is.
Oh, there it is. Private lane.
It's a private lane right already, but it's got a 40.
What size is it 30 foot private lane?
40 foot.
40 foot.
40
How did this go through the development?
They apparently didn't get time or whatever.
It's scheduled for the October.
And what's the problem with their loan is it has to be done by the 20th of this month, or they have to reapply for the loan if they don't need variance before the 20th. That's the reason I'm getting it put on again to try to help them get their loan approved. And it costs them more money to reapply for the loan.
And you have most of it?
Yes, sir. US Navy.
And I move that we go ahead and recommend that they give them variance for this.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fowle,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez. Is there any more comments?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
No.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, it passes.
Can we get something for them in writing for variance, for their variance?
The normal paperwork they do isn't gonna work. So they come through it.
Get something from the court. So they have to give it to the
Minutes. As long as it's on letterhead, they said that the title company will accept it.
Just get the minutes from you.
Okay.
Get a copy.
I think it probably needs to come from the judge.
Judge.
Yes.
I have the original variance packet if you wanted to, I believe there's a stamp on it and a signature for.
So that's what we use when it goes to the meeting, because we type up the.
Okay.
No.
Mr. Chapman to review that.
This is
And then
the
we'll-
original variance packet I submitted and received, and this is.
Is that from?
See, this comes from the development review committee.
Right.
Okay. It won't work. This didn't come to the development review committee.
Come to the court
So
for
we
it.
won't have that.
But, Dana's saying that if we can get a copy of the minutes only, right? That's what you
The
mean?
minutes would be.
I would think that the minutes should work.
Okay. Just a copy of that, line item agenda, like the way we do.
We'll get it ready this afternoon.
Okay, appreciate it.
Where,
You'd have to pick it up in the afternoon.
At the old courthouse.
Yes, come back.
Underneath, or not underneath, but come in the back door.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we're going to item number 10. District of Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on application for mass gathering permit 1016, Outlaws Mud Fest, October 17th, 2015. Everybody's got this for me. Edwin's already reviewed it.
I haven't
signed
signed
off
it,
on
but
it. Did you read- you
I'll
looked at
sign
it?
it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at it.
And the sheriff looked at it and approved it.
Did Edmund look at it?
Edwin's already signed off on
Already
it.
signed off?
Yes. So, we have a motion. Motion by Commissioner Fowle, second by Commissioner Guns. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, this one passed.
We didn't have balloons in the hotel.
It's in here. Well, you know. I did last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to make money.
Yeah.
It packs the rope. No fault.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure.
Moving right along. Item number 11, Floresville, Jackson, Wilson County Judge John Holcomb, IT Director. Discussion and potential action shall occur to transition existing county Time Warner Internet service under the State of Texas DIR TEXAN NG contract and increasing internet bandwidth.
Thank you. Currently, we're paying at the sheriff's office and the courthouse and the library $1,059 at each site per month for 10 megabit internet service at each site. I would like to move those over to the Texan NG contract where we can get them up to 30 megabits, so that's substantially faster at $1,030 a month, which would bring the price down by about $29 a month per site. I'm not sure if we can do anything with the library though at this time because it does get E-rate funding, and any change we do would be outside of the E-rate funding year, which would jeopardize that E-rate funding. So it might be better to leave the library alone for now, but I would like to, with your permission, upgrade the sheriff's office and the courthouse.
So what about when everything moves the library, and are you gonna have a hookup for that system for the library or not?
We would move the library service over here. That would just be a service modification, but not really a contract change necessarily. We just move the circuit over to this other location.
How much longer is the contract at the library?
I believe it's renewed on a yearly basis, but I couldn't tell you for sure, sir. I'm
So
sorry.
you're talking 3 times the bandwidth for $30 less a month?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good to me. We need a motion on it.
Well, and then when the library comes due, we're gonna transfer that?
I would like to look at moving that over. We don't know for sure what's going to be available in the coming year when that E-rate cycles. We don't even know if E-rate's still going to exist. There's word that might even go away. What we might do at that point is just increase the internet bandwidth of the county even more and put the library into that circuit instead. so we're not paying the additional circuit fees. There's a price list. Would y'all like to see it? Or I could share it with you some other time of the different speeds that we can get. But actually, even 30 meg is pretty low compared to other entities in the county. There's one that's at 500 meg, one at 70, and one at 100. Not in Wilson County, but other customers, other Time Warner subscribers. But we would benefit greatly from increased bandwidth. I know at the sheriff's office, they share a circuit with Leanne's office, and it slows things down. Our connection back to the sheriff's office right now is through a VPN connection over that Time Warner link. So basically, every office that uses Time Warner, every office that uses net data connects back to the sheriff's office through that connection. That slows things down. Their internet access, the email, everything, you add it all together, really 10 is pretty low for what they're doing. And I'd even like to go up higher with it, but the cost would stay, we could actually get the cost down and increase bandwidth by going up to 30.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Morales. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Sounds done a good job.
Yes. Keep up the good work. Okay, now we're going to item number 12. Dana J. Farwell, County Attorney, consideration and action on creation of a position of reserve investigator in the County Attorney's Office. Yes, ma'am.
We had some discussion last year about a possible investigator position through a grant that we decided to hold off on this year with the budget considerations. But I was approached by a peace officer who lives here in the county who's working in San Antonio regarding a reserve investigator program last year. I didn't feel like there was statutory authority at the time, but with new House Bill 480, the legislature has created the ability for a prosecutor's office. It says the Commissioner's Court may authorize the prosecuting attorney to appoint a reserve investigator in their office or reserve investigators. And that's really what I'm here to ask for, is that for your permission to begin a reserve investigator program in my office, that we might try to alleviate some of the issues between bailiffing and juvenile transports and things if I can get sufficient interest. And then at a later date, if we do decide to go forward with the grant program or anything like that, that would include an investigator, that would be a funded position. But at this point with reserves, they're unfunded. I've spoken with the sheriff. If I can get sufficient interest, he said he would help me out with a vehicle for them to do transports to kind of alleviate some of the pressure that his deputies are feeling.
So this is an unfunded position?
Yes. It would be for free, doing investigation work. We, in our office, need help sometimes finding identifiers on criminal defendants, locating our witnesses in trials, running down judgments on enhanced cases. Those are all things investigators would do, and going out and helping us get our witnesses lined out and things like that.
It's probably a dumb question, but what would be the motivation for someone to want to take this position?
It's really just a foot in the door kind of thing. If there ever is a funded position, I think is
It's already sitting there.
Aren't you for good citizenship?
I mean, some retired officers,
Just to have their.
to keep their commission, it would be something that they could do that wouldn't be a full-time position, that they would be able to continue to have the commission carried.
A lot of municipal police departments work off of reserve officers, and a lot of those reserve officers are unpaid because they have to have somebody to hold their commission. If they do not have somebody to hold their commission, they lose it. And that is the motivation for.
Then is there any liability?
No, I mean, no more liability than,
I mean, do we need to set a policy for reserve office or reserve?
no, I mean, that would be done through my office. I mean, we would, if you give me permission, then of course I'm gonna set up a policy for that. that position in my office and the as far as setting up, you know, all of the things that we need to go in place with that. And I know that the sheriff is always very helpful lining those things out.
I make a motion to accept.
Motion by Commissioner Down, second by Commissioner Fowle. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
In a year of a tight budget, that's a good thing.
3 is all right.
Yep. Okay, item number 13, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on closing the library Friday, September 25th for library staff to attend a digital workshop. Nikki?
Well, the library's been invited to a digital workshop in Temple. We have several staff members that would like to go because it will have different kinds of tablets, different kinds of small computers. They're even going to have one that's the size of an iPhone. You just need to plug in your monitor. They say the whole kit runs for $200, and I would like to see this hands-on first before we agree to do anything. But the new term is called a petting zoo, so you can go try out these digital items before. But with 3 of us going, two out sick, there's no one left to keep the library doors open. So I would like permission to close the library for the day.
I think that was done.
Ricky wants to go to the zoo.
No, Ricky wants to.
Me too.
You want a better computer? Okay, what they will receive as far as education and information.
Yes.
Sorry.
The state librarian will also be there in the morning for us to talk about and hopefully host a session you can one-on-one talk about with your grievances with the state operation or meeting with my new anything he wants to talk to us. So he'll be there.
Okay.
That was good.
Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Morales. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And I have one more thing before we leave. This month, the library actually becomes 75 years old. We've been in service. And on Thursday, the 17th, I think it's the 17th on Thursday, we're having cake and punch. So if you would like to come and share a cake and punch with the friends of the library, it'll be there all day long. So just stop by and say hi. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're moving to item number 14. Richard L. Jackson County Judge. Eva S. Martinez, County Clerk, request to change location. It's a voting box location from Oak Hills Community Church to Eagle Creek Fire Department for November 3rd, 2015 constitutional amendment election. Okay, you want to explain to them? You want me to? Go ahead.
Okay. We've always used that location, and we feel that the voters really do like it. But the folks that have the facility can no longer accommodate us. So they have asked us if we could find another place. So we have contacted Eagle Creek Fire Department, and they're more than willing to allow us to do the amendment election there. Now, for the primary, we were going to need your assistance in trying to locate a different location, should this one not be available.
Is Oak Hills out for good? Is that what you're saying, or just for this?
It's out for good.
It's out for good.
That's
So we're gonna be, this is gonna give us time to find us another, hopefully permanent location.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
That's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be tough, because I still got another location to look for also, and pushing more.
So this will be the,
Eagle Creek works, it's just inconvenient for the majority.
I think there was a safety issue right off the highway. There were people
Yes,
pulling in
there
and
are.
Yes.
pulling out. If you park in the right place where the sand is, you may.
End up staying there.
But this will help, this will just give us some time to find a good location, if we can.
Right.
That's a hard place, but that's a.
I can't think of another place.
Precinct 4, 416.
Right.
It's 4-6.
It's a big box.
It is.
It is.
And off the top of my head, I can't think of.
Well, there's a new church, over at Center Point.
Yeah, but that's
That's too far for
that's a
on
different
this side.
box.
Is that not
No,
416?
that one would be,
No, it's a different
that,
box.
right,
Okay.
that would be the change that we would make from Pastor to that.
Okay.
Then I did take a look at that on the weekend, and that looks very
Yeah, that
promising.
would-
I haven't
it's gonna
spoken
be-
to him, it just very,
Types info.
yes.
So that's, well, that's, we have to do what we have to do, and that'll work. That used to be where we voted, the
Yes.
fire station years ago.
Yes, we do.
But the other one was more convenient
Very-
and much
yes.
safer.
And very easy to see from the road,
And the
going or
box was
coming
much
at any
smaller
time.
than- The box was much smaller than.
Okay,
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Fowle. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we have a new election box for temporary, yes.
We need more churches.
Okay, we're going to item number 15, Richfield, Jackson County. Discuss and take action on the method of procurement for the selection of a general contractor for the renovation of part of the existing county-owned facility, Sam Ford Jr. Wilson County Public Library, located at 1103 4th Street, Floresville, Texas, under the one-step competitive sealed bid proposal process. Lindsay?
Good morning, again. Yeah, so this is for the court to take action so we can get the ball rolling, so we can get the general contractor selected for the library for this building. We're looking at approval today, going out for advertisement for the required 2.5-week or 15-day advertisement, which will go from the 20th of this month to October the 5th. Should have the dates there in your packet. We're looking at calling a pre-bid on-site conference on the 7th of October. That's when we call anybody that has shown interest to bid on the project. They come and they walk through the building with us to see what they're dealing with, any questions they can answer. All proposed general conditions, general contractors then submit the questions by no later than the 23rd of October. Looking then, we'll actually provide any responses on our end from the design team by the 30th of October. And then all the general contractors then will submit their competitive seal proposals on November the 5th, which is a Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. That gives us, as the architectural design team and the county, a couple of days to review it, any questions we may have before we make our selection, which will then be presented to the Commissioners Court on the standard meeting on November the 9th.
When do we see vaguely the construction to begin?
Well, as soon as we select general contractor, then we'll go ahead and submit the drawing. The drawings generally then go in for permit. As soon as we have the general contractor selected, they'll go in for permit review into the city. So we're probably looking within a month, I would say, they'll be able to start swinging hammers.
You're talking about this building?
This building for the last piece of the puzzle for the
Now,
library.
what does that one-step competitive mean?
Well, there's different ways of doing it. So there's this is the quickest route. The other routes have been, I think, like we did on the original building, was you actually provide a request for qualification first and foremost. So you can advertise out or invite selected general contractors to provide requests for qualifications, which they give that big old booklet on their product and what they do and their services they provide. You can review and narrow down the selected few, 3 contractors, for example, when we come and interview, and then we say, okay, we want you 3 then to provide bids on the project, and you go through then the second part, which is based on much like this. They have the drawings, they provide bids, they return bids in. But that's a 2-step process, which is a lot longer. It's basically twice the length of time than doing this.
So who opens the bids and who oversees the bids?
When they come in, they'll be returned into Commissioners Court for public viewing, public forum on that Thursday. And then what we'll do is we'll open them up, the bids will be read out, they'll be listed, they'll provide their numbers and the qualifications as per provided list as part of this package.
But do you have a committee or something to set up for commissioner or somebody can go and talk to you about the bids? or-
Well, they'll be here at the time, so
They'll be
any
here.
of you commissioners, all of you can be there at the bid opening if you so wish. We'll have the judge here, and what usually happens in most jurisdictions is that they usually have the judge and a commissioner that has sort of been appointed by Commissioners Court to sort of be the front man to review that on behalf of the county. Then we'll be looking at with you to review and make sure that we see everything. Any questions to be asked, we can answer them. And then we have a couple of days then to go back to general contractors to say, we want some further clarification on this, what did you mean by this, if we have any questions. So it gives a couple of days then, and it's up to if the Commissioners Court feels that the November 9th is the next following Commissioners Court standard date. I don't think we have one then until like the 23rd or something, I think, Judge?
Yes.
It's the next established date. But I know you could call a special hearing if you need to, I would guess, if you don't want to wait that length of time. If you think the November 9th is too short a period. But that's generally what we've done in other counties.
Hopefully the timeline establishes what we can go by.
Exactly.
And as far as the demolition starting on this building, it's gonna have to be after there's a completion and certificate of occupancy for the wing because we got the district clerk's
Right.
office here and we can't do anything just.
Correct.
She's moved out.
But we're hoping.
My thing is,
As soon as we can probably start moving some of her stuff, but until it's completed,
correct.
we get a certificate, or even a temporary certificate of occupancy, then we can move her out and start the
it'll be
work.
sometime in the first quarter, but maybe toward the end of the first quarter.
Hopefully sooner than that.
Hopefully we'd like to be able to, and I guess depend on getting it done. If we can get a temporary CFO to maybe move Debbie over and the attorneys over to that side, if we can do that. The only problem we have is the main entrance everyone comes in is in the wing that John's currently building. So unless there are a couple of back entrances that will then, when the building's fully operational, will be sort of the private entrance in from the Sheriff's Department and in by where the County Attorney's office will be. There's a door there that we could use, and we met with the County Clerk last week about it, saying, well, this is a door that maybe you could use, but it may or may not be. It's a lot of grey areas until we meet with the city because we've got parking in different areas, as you know, and so worst case scenario, we have to finish that building before we can start swinging hammers on this one. If we can do it earlier, of course, we will try and do that.
Well, the old courthouse will be ready, so we'll have
Hopefully.
some of the stuff.
Engine on how soon we can get.
False charge.
Right.
And
Yeah, I wanna see at least the first, the courthouse get finished first and then,
Okay, I mean, it has to.
well, I know it, before we can start moving everything, so.
All sounds good.
okay.
So,
And over time, we've done the 1 and 2 step process. It's just, the 2-step process takes a lot longer. This gives everybody within the county fair and equal opportunity from here to San Antonio or beyond to provide bids. So
when you go out for bid, is it publicized or how is it?
yes, it goes, so the first stage here on this list here, it actually goes for advertisement into the paper. And then what we're going to do is, we're actually going to when they'll contact us for access to the drawings, we'll invite them into a Dropbox on the computer system. So rather than the county having to pay for huge amounts of copies of
So
drawings.
the bid package will be in the computer?
Yes, so they can access whatever files they want.
What if somebody wants to in person come bid one out?
From here,
Yeah.
or we can make it available, we can make a copy is set here available, they can come and look at it.
The reason he did that is to save us on copying all of these.
Right, no, I'm just saying if
Yeah.
somebody is around there.
Because what usually happens is, and John will tell you this, in bygone eras when we used to just have rolls of drawings and we give each general contractor, they'd come and want, we're gonna have a pretty thick set of drawings. And, they're pretty expensive to copy, and they will come in and each contractor will probably want 10 sets, full sets. And we'd always say, make sure they have to, if the electrician has a full set, because we want to make sure that not only they have the electrical sheets, but they also see how it relates to the mechanical and the building sets. But you know what happens, John, right? They can pull their sheets out, partial sets go flying everywhere, and it just creates confusion, whereas if they have, it's cheaper for them, they can pull the immediate sheets they want, but they also know that if they need to review, they can actually see the sheets there, all the sheets are available, the architectural, structural, electrical. It's just a lot more efficient way of doing it, and all general contractors, it's almost an accepted way of doing it these days.
The Dropbox he's talking about, Albert,
almost all of our subcontractors use that, and they need prints, they can print them out themselves, or we use a company in San Antonio, Gilbert Graphics, who, you know, it saves everybody a considerable amount of money.
Motion by Commissioner Powell for the method of procurement and go out for bids in the one-step competitive sealed bid process. Second by Commissioner Wiley. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay. Item number 16, Tom Duke, County Auditor. A, budget line item transfers for year 2015.
Alrighty, okay, according to our local government code, anytime there's line item changes in the budget that's adopted, of course, they have to be presented in court. We try to do this at the end of the year. You know, budget is our roadmap. We want to make sure we don't fall off the road we have. Everyone is doing phenomenal in the county. So basically, we have our existing budget as it exists, and line item changes may increase and decrease because of what's happened throughout the year. I'm just going to point out the highlights. Compared to last year to this year. Our outside auditors, of course, do not want to negative line items. So that's kind of what prompts the line item changes. So if you see for each page, there's no emergency budget amendments until we get to district and county courts, which is on page 2. And the first item is autopsies and burials, and then court-appointed attorneys, and then court reporter expenses, professional services and required visiting judges. I'm going to let the judge hone in on this. I'm not sure what would constitute us to have more autopsies, more court-appointed attorneys, and so forth. I mean, these are things, this is the only department that's really, we had to do emergency adjustment, but I believe the overall revenues is going to cover this $43,000. And court-appointed attorneys is, y'all really have no control over that, or maybe Ms. Chapman can.
Well, if they qualify, we're obligated to supply them a court-appointed attorney.
That's increase, and if.
And that is for the county court and for the district court.
Okay.
And
same with autopsies?
Oh, the autopsy is nothing.
The autopsies, you can't control those.
Correct.
These are all charges that we don't have any control of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we probably always have changes like that. Last year in building a yard, we had a $27,000 amendment if we did the restroom. Well, we didn't have it this year. Building a yard came in good. So that's really the only item in the general fund, with the exception of Chapter 19, which is about 3 more pages back. Chapter 19 is a fund that the voter registration gets reimbursement from the state, but we never budget the dollar amount because we're not sure how much it's going to cost us to have those expenses. But we get reimbursed for whatever help and expenses that we got. So about $1,600, we got that back to the state. So then the next section we get into is actual road and bridges. Like I said, we try to come out as close as we can possible in our budgets. I did list y'all's fund balance, and if you see that, I did. If you go into the road and bridge one, I listed the fund balance for the general fund and then each of y'all's fund balances. So you can see we're probably going to go over materials, so we're going to need probably $111,500 out of last year's fund balance to cover that. And we may not. I mean, the revenues may exceed where we don't have to. And I did the same for Road and Bridge 2, Road and Bridge 3, and Road and Bridge 4. I also want to point out, I closed out a bunch of funds that were kind of dormant, which is money that goes back to the general fund. So for instance, let's see, that takes care of all the road and bridge, and I want you guys to stop me as I'm going through this. The courthouse, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you just said stop you.
Oh, okay. All right. We have a fund, public safety, public health and safety. Last year that was a separate fund. We moved that into the general fund this year. There was $37,000 left over, so that got moved into this year's fund balance. So that's closed out. Let's see, the next one that got closed out, same situation as the recycling and collection funds. The previous order had set these up separately, but we have those now budgeted within our general fund. So on the recycling fund, we have $5,800 left over. And the collection events, we had $242 left over. Below that is Kaufman Road, INS, that's closed out, paid. We had $1,774.31 that got closed out and moved. President's Park, $1,803.81. There was an old FEMA reimbursement account from the year before that we closed out with $7,808.20. Wilson County Park Road INS, there's $5,840.60. Wood Valley working account was $725. CLLP INS, $8,355.08. There was Old Parks account of $519.48. Road District 8, there was like $682. The next one was Blackjack INS, there was $659. And Oak Hills INS, $2,171.03. So these are all old accounts that are dormant. Money was just sitting there, so we were able to move it into general fund. And plus it helps the treasurer as well, which has got less reconciling to do and so forth.
So when you talk about the fund balance of,
That's what was remaining at last year.
why is it, only, this account have fund balance and the other one don't?
Which one?
Like, for 2014,
Well, those are the ones that have money sitting in.
yeah, this is, I understand that, but, we never have, is this the first year that we're doing this, or?
We're closing out old accounts.
I'm
that don't
talking about
exist
fund
anymore.
balance, cause
Oh, no, I have it on there last year for y'all.
No, for us, I know that only, I think that the
No, but
commissioner
I just had it on last year's report.
is supposed to have only fund balance and the library,
Well,
and the rest of, like, that 2014 fund balance, all supposed to go back to the general fund.
Right, but they never did, so that's why I closed them out. They were just sitting individually.
I'm just trying to understand
Yes,
that.
yes, that's what it is. They had separate fund balances, they were separate accounts.
So next year, coming next
There's
year, we're
nothing.
not gonna
It's
see
gone.
nothing,
No,
all
sir.
gone,
They
okay.
won't even be on the report.
Okay,
And then the last item is just the courthouse.
yeah, cause if you start having this with other, line items that you have here, everybody's gonna say, well, I got fund balance from last year.
Correct.
They're gonna wanna go over their budget and use this also, so.
Correct.
So we don't wanna see that
No,
in that line.
no, that is correct. And then the last item is just the construction, that we're just pulling that money out of the fund balance to cover all the construction costs for this year.
So that subdivision fund
Yes, sir.
is 43,000?
That's how much is in it? Yes, sir.
Left over?
Well, that's, yeah, that money rolls over, that stays in a separate little dedicated fund. And that's why I want you guys to see what kind of monies are in each of these fund balances. That was at the end of last year, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how much money was left over.
And that's for engineering services,
Yes.
policy for engineering, review?
So all that goes back, next year, we're not gonna see that anymore.
No, it stays in there, it keeps rolling.
This one,
For the subdivision, that stays in there. No, the only ones that I closed out are the ones I pointed
That way, if we have
out.
a year where we don't collect enough fees to pay the outside engineer, that will cover it.
well, that's what I'm saying,
That stays in existing fund balance.
so which are the ones that are gonna stay, only the precinct,
The precinct, the general fund,
the general fund, the library, and you're talking about the subdivision funds?
the subdivision fund, the county tip fund, the inmate telephone prepayment fund, our 2014 bond INS, Jack's Memorial Park, the Rover Cube, Country Acres, Wood Valley INS, the Fourth Court of Appeals, the Law Library, the County Attorney 825 account, and the landfill plus the construction bond, the 2014 bond. And those are dedicated funds, they have to stay independent like that.
What about my RPF money? My RPF money that I collect, records preservation.
Yeah, it's in
the.
Yes, ma'am, it's
Okay,
fully,
all right.
let's see. Well, it wasn't in there was no changes to it. I only did the ones that had changes to them were the ones that closed out.
Okay.
Yes, that's Fund 29.
Okay.
And we may have one more meeting at the end of the month if there's any other items that might have gone over between now and the end of the month. This is a snapshot as of last week. I did the best to see that what was over, that we had moved monies around. But that's a good question, Commissioner Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all, they call them special revenue funds.
Yeah,
And that's how they report on our financials when they do the audit.
yeah, cause I'm thinking when people, you get into that end of the month and the budget, what I'm seeing is a lot of, what you call it, departments say, well, I still got money
Correct.
left over on the budget and can I spend it?
Right.
Well, it's not supposed to work like that. Only
Right.
what you got, if it's an emergency,
Yes.
you're over your line item, then you can use it. But a
Right.
lot of people say, well, I got 5,000 left over on one line item.
Right.
Can I use it for buying this? Well, I mean, you wait until next year, I guess. I mean, that's the way.
And that was the reason why I pushed the public and health safety into the general fund, so it's not self-sustained, that it, you know, because of what situation you're saying, you have money left over to spend it.
It's better to save money than spend it all at one time.
Correct, correct. And the inmate telephone account, the sheriff used that to buy equipment for the vehicle,
Right,
for the
I
jail and so
understand that.
forth.
That's all right.
You know, any other questions
We need to approve these transfers.
and amendments?
Okay, what about B, emergency budget?
Yes, sir, I went
Can
over
do
those
that?
at the same time.
Yes, what's that?
I went over those at the same time.
Okay, so we've done, covered both of them?
Yes, sir.
That was it, okay. So we can vote on both of those at the same time?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez. Second by Commissioner Morales. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Now, item number 17, Paul Fowle, Commissioner, Precinct 2. Go out for bids on design, construction, and replacement of bridge on County Road 208 FEMA grant.
Yeah, this is, one of the bridges I got broken, and we got notice last week with the approval from FEMA, what they're gonna fund. And they recommend we keep on going forward with this, before I can go out for bid. Design and construction bid on this project.
Okay.
And Leanne just got the notice for 210. Kathy, can I add that to it, or have to be separate deal? That's what I thought. We'll do that next week.
Okay.
For 210. So I moved it, we go out for bid for design and construction for the bridge.
What's the timeline on the, going out for bid today and then opening bid?
Well, we're gonna have to sit down there and get authorized to do that.
To start the process.
I second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Fowle, second by Commissioner Wiley to go out for bids on design, construction, and replacement of bridge on County Road 208. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead, 18, not 10 o'clock. Richville, Jackson County Judge Jim Hill, the county treasurer, discuss and take action on closing Wilson County Jail interest and sinking checking account.
So Jan's had a conference, she asked the board if we get permission to close this account, I believe there's less than $1,000 in it, and whenever a new account is open for INS fund, you have to get permission to open it through court. So you have to get permission to close it through court. The jail bond paid off 2 years ago.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Fowle to close the checking account on the Wilson County Jail INS fund. Any more discussion? All in favor? So opposed? Okay. I guess it's 10 o'clock right now. We're gonna go back to item number, let's see. Item number 8. Tom Dupnick, County Auditor, 10 a.m., open bids, consider and take action on proposals for A, property and casualty insurance coverages.
Second.
That's just
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
thank you, Judge.
To carry one. Don't cut yourself.
you're an emergency, are you medical?
It's an emergency night. It's an emergency night. Shut it to right here.
You're sitting too close together with that.
Man, they said it up pretty good.
Christmas.
Okay. Got minors for them. Okay, I got minors for us.
This is enough.
Good.
Okay.
So do we want to go into
Yes.
reconvene? Okay, and then we want to do the same with the next item?
On the bid for
Yes,
the
sir.
County road
road.
repairs, have we got those?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we haven't, okay, item B, county road repairs, open the bids, motion. Moved by Commissioner Fowle, second by Commissioner Gomez, all in favor? Okay, you got to do that, and then.
Very little money.
Okay. You want to recess for a while and I'll appoint.
You wanna wait for the bills or come, if y'all wanna do the, go on and do the
Judge.
bills?
Can you zoom to
Okay.
number 19, our public hearing for that vacation recap
Okay.
before y'all recess?
Okay, but we're in the middle of that item, not.
We change.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Recess.
Okay, how long do you think it'll take to,
Who's gonna
you
go?
and Ms. Chapman and Commissioner Gomez?
On the, I'll go with the insurance, the liability.
How long do you think y'all need to review that?
Yeah, we just know.
15 minutes?
15 minutes.
And what about, item B? So you, okay, well, they can go review that, and then when they get through, you can go ahead and, okay, we'll recess for 15 minutes. Is that gonna be enough
Yeah,
time?
you come back on this one, we'll do that one.
30 for the whole time,
What's that?
30 minutes.
30 minutes the whole time? We'll be back at 10:30. 10:30 a.m., no, September the 14th. Commissioners Court's back in session. We're gonna extend the recess because evidently they're still in there reviewing on the insurance. They haven't even got to the county road bids. So we will extend it until 15 minutes, until 11, for another 15 minutes. Thank you.
And then extend it again.
You think so?
I don't know. Paul's probably pretty easy.
Yeah, he's easy. Road, item now, so we've got half of it done, so I think we're through. Are we ready? Are you one in there with them?
We're still in there.
Okay. I think we'll just, stay in session until they get through, and we'll sit here and twiddle our thumbs. Hopefully they won't be long, and we cannot go to another agenda item until they get back. I just reminded myself a while ago, and I'll remind everybody that's here, next month, the Commissioners Court, the 26th of October has been changed to the 27th of October. So we will not have Commissioners Court on Monday the 26th, it will be Tuesday the 27th. You weren't included until now.
You let your nails dry? What Ricky does when he's not used to it. Now, that's a missed opportunity. I hate missed opportunities. I can't remember ever having an intermission, like an admonition, intermission. We never had.
Can't tell what will happen.
We never had this problem. We had Judge Quinn.
We didn't have muffins and.
We're not. We're in court right now.
Are we in court?
We're in court.
We're recording them?
Yeah, you just missed it.
As soon as we get this, it's pretty quick flight through the rest of it.
We should have went to that first, but I'd already started. And it was too late.
You're kind of nervous, aren't you? It was a dark and stormy night.
Right before Halloween.
Right before Halloween.
Right. It's amazing if you can recognize all of it.
It's kind of a Picasso.
I thought it was the year one that
Oh, what? That was an Henry.
Yeah.
Someone listens to this tapes in the future, I think, my what will they do? Yeah. Well, I guess I'll try to do the second thing. Sorry, it's Wednesday. And I'd like to finish, second course goes pretty quick. I'd like to go
discuss that?
You're bringing the draft.
Oh, okay.
Too late.
I guess I should make myself a note.
You've got mayonnaise and mustard and chips.
And dips.
And dips, don't forget the dips.
You're
Making me hungry.
We don't
Always.
need that.
Who's bringing the plates?
We don't use plates. We
They just sit out to get something.
Man,
Like I said, we use our fingers.
and we don't wash our hands.
Oh.
Oh, but I washed mine the other day.
Yes, well, I did too.
Well, you need to get the squeeze bottle of mayonnaise and mustard of hand sanitizer.
We're so excited.
You never had this problem when I did the education.
Enough to get you to do it again.
The next time you do it, ask for a speedy court.
Hey, when I did it, we were in and out. Just got free across the whole state of Texas.
Dr. Teague drove all the way from Houston this morning.
Wow.
Did you really?
He did, and he turned around, he's got a funeral at 2 o'clock.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That's fine.
What he said from Lester Drake.
He must have prayed for patience. This one.
Never.
And he got it.
Never prayed for patience.
No, but he must have, because we had to do it.
He's got a great ministry.
How do you
He'd
know
be able
that?
to do that.
He came in here and introduced himself, he wants to have a prayer day down at the courthouse once it gets us back open.
Cool.
Oh, that's encouraging.
A day of prayer for Wilson County.
You know that we didn't try, but, it's kind of out of school, so we're talking there and out of school. They're pretty good. We just too many trucks running around, man.
Yep. Yep.
And then you go in there and it's like, where do you want me to go? Just take off on your own.
Yeah.
Pretty hard when you don't know that area.
Yeah. What time did you get through?
We came at 12:30 last night.
Who was asking about that?
So they still were there just putting out the hotspots. They still had probably like 10 trucks.
Who went with you?
Me and my son. Floresville took two of them.
No, somebody was asking about if
No,
they
no,
can be
rental.
there. Yes, it is. This is.
And,
Front's gonna look.
when we were there, I saw Stockdale and Laverne also.
Is that yours?
Reverse.
Oh, I got a nice shot. in Laverne.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Like you were standing at the street.
I like that. I think that's absolutely right.
Thank you. Okay, now that everyone's back, we're going to continue with 8A, property and casualty insurance coverages.
Okay, so we got bids from 3 different carriers for our property and liability. Mr. Gomez, myself, and Ms. Chapman reviewed them. We got one from Travelers Insurance, we got one from One Beacon, and we got one from TAC, which is Texas Association of Counties. Looking through the bids of the Travelers, it looks like their premium would be $78,579. Looking at One Beacon, who's our current carrier, the policy would be $84,176. Looking at TAC, Texas Association of Counties, it looks like it's $64,004. So, what discussion that you guys would like to present to Kathy?
This is for the exact same coverage?
Everything that we.
To the best you could tell, this is tax.
Okay. We didn't get to read all that?
Two.
Yeah, on the, we looked at everything and, it's a bit different on prices with TAC, and, I just wanted to ask the question, was TAC, is that if you can come, who's representing TAC?
Yes, sir.
Is that the total, cause we're trying to look up the numbers right to see if we had the correct numbers or not on that. Is that true, that number that we're saying? The total?
Yes, so if you look at, on the property.
On the property and the general?
Because one of them was only a 9-month contract.
That's correct. So on the property, since we have what's called a pool common date, so everyone who has property coverage with TAC, their policy renews on July 1st. So this coverage, if it went into place, would start October 1st and run to July 1st. So it is a short month policy.
Right.
But we
And-
added $6K to it. to make
Exactly,
it-
so if you wanted to see what the total cost for the property policy is by itself, it's listed down at the bottom.
25,000?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
614, so that you could see what it would be on an annual basis.
Annual base.
Yes, sir.
And the other one was, what was it? The 19?
Yes, sir.
One was 19,000, and I can't remember the other.
Was that the liability?
Yes, where is the sheet?
Put them in here.
Oh, over here on this side.
Right here.
Okay.
Anyway, we added the amount so that tax both appeared to be a 12 month to try to make the dollar figures as comparable as possible.
Yeah, and, for the law enforcement liability, you had a 23,094 cents.
That's correct, yes.
And then the other one for public officials and liability, you had 15,734.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and that's the combined total amount of, it was 58,400, four, but we added another 6,000 just because of 3 months. That is, it was included, it would be 25,000.
The 25,000.
Right, so we came out a total of 64,000.
And you would have different, depending on what deductible level you selected also on the general liability, so. that's
And so
we did provide-
6,000 difference is all it would be for 3 months coverage
So,
out of 58,000?
No,
no, you add,
What's
It'd
that?
be 19,000.
you add.
That's what, it'd be 19,466.
Yes.
If you
It's
take,
6,000 can't be an accurate number.
Where's that declaration?
Because if you add 3 months, okay, you've got 9 months, that's 75% of the.
But however, read the
No, on
statement.
this one, where it said the property program requires a common renewal date of July 1st, the period cover October the 1st to July the 1st,
Okay, and that's
2000.
just on the property.
That's only on the property, right? That's only the property.
oh, the others are.
The rest of it is still,
It's still the same.
Yes, the
Oh,
others
it's
are full
October,
annual
October.
quoted.
All right.
okay.
Yes.
Misunderstood.
Okay.
but
It's
yeah,
just
but
because the
Tom
property
added
starts in
that
July.
6,000 to make.
Okay, I understand where it now, but I was thinking 6 to.
No, It's
Do
just,
we have
it's
to do
only
the whole
for the
fifty-eight
property.
thousand, but it's just 19 something?
So that 25,000 is for 9 months.
Right,
25,000 is.
it's for the whole year.
Annual.
The whole year.
It's for the
It's
whole
an
year.
annual.
Yes, sir. The 19 that was quoted is because the coverage would start October, would run to July, so it's like 9 months worth of coverage.
Okay.
But if you wanted to see, okay, well, what would this cost us?
Just
for
annualized,
annual,
yeah.
it is 25.
So it's annualized.
$614.
And then general liability, how much was it?
That would depend on what deductible option the court selected. We did quote a $0 deductible or a $1,000 deductible, and then we gave you a choice of 2 different limits. One set of limit is the Tort Claims Act limit, which is $100,000 per person, $300,000 each accident. That's for bodily injury, with $100,000 property damage. So you've got that option. Or if you wanted a $1 million limit, there's pricing for the court to decide on that as well.
Is there a limit on the other, the ones that we got bids from?
That's what I was gonna ask, Frank.
We have $1 million.
It's $1 million.
Right.
What
We
would
also,
that change y'all's?
and we also included an umbrella at an additional premium of $1,034. That $1 million umbrella will follow the law enforcement, the public officials, and the general liability. Today's world, we're selling a lot more umbrellas because the cases are getting into federal court. We have state immunity, but when we get into federal courts, that does not apply. So we have now been recommending $1 million umbrellas. And it's in there for $1,034.
What is tax?
On what?
On this price right here.
That's gonna be 64,000.
Yeah, but what is the deductible and
On the deductible, which one, it's got, well, the property damage liability is $1,000. And then the bodily injury is 1,000, and then employees, it's 1,000, and 1,000. The other one, deductible follow as selected above. Includes coverage. Deductible for law enforcement is $10,000. I don't know what you got on the law enforcement.
Right. It's 10,000.
10,000 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In GL, we have no deductible, general liability.
So, I mean, it's almost, everything's almost in, but I don't know. And this, I mean, it's a small amount of time to decide, but Tom was telling me that we have to decide today to make a decision today, because I think he said that it ends or covers this at 9:30, so. And I don't know, I mean, we know that we always had one beacon for years. And, travelers, I don't know, I have never heard,
Travelers used to be here a long time ago, sir.
I remember the travelers at one time.
Travelers is gonna gear more with the loss control, make it a safer area. They emphasize safety, and they do a lot more loss control. The county's coming into a time where we really need to start paying attention to this. We're in a bond, and right now, we're building a lot of buildings, we're updating buildings, and we do stress a lot of loss control, and they will be coming through and making recommendations. And they are recommendations, and that's what they are.
That's what they're on.
Judge, my recommendation would be that we study this a little more. And there's a lot of elements here, and if that means that we have to set up a special commissioner's court to just entertain this item, that would make a whole lot more sense than trying to make the decision on the fly when we don't quite understand the apples and the oranges. And we end up making a decision that we look at it later and go, you know, we really should have, this could be fine.
Right,
The way we're
yeah,
covered.
because I mean, just because, you know, the prices are different, it doesn't mean that the lowest price is a good price. I mean,
Get the same coverage.
Right.
What about the terrorism?
It's included.
Okay, what about tax?
That's correct. We do not exclude terrorism.
They're the same.
everybody's the same. So I don't know, if you say that
We have a meeting next week for the tax rate, hearing the setting of it.
So we can,
What day is that?
Can we put that on the agenda?
can we put that on the
That's next
agenda and wait until, because I mean,
Schedule this.
I'd rather have a little bit more time, because I mean, there's a
It's
whole
next
bunch to
Thursday,
read.
not this Thursday.
Yeah, not this week, but next Thursday.
Because I mean, it was
Is that
hard
9
us
o'clock?
to,
Is it 9, Tom?
That's a 9 a.m. meeting.
9 AM, or we can put it on the agenda for that day, and that gives us enough time to, and also the commissioners can look at the package, so, that way you all can look at it.
Yeah, give us, yeah, 'cause that's a pretty extended.
Yeah, 'cause 15 minutes, there ain't no way we can see, we can read it all in 15 minutes.
You got 45.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
so I'd rather, yeah, we'll table it to the next commissioner's court.
Yeah, well, what I would suggest is that after court, the committee sit down with these guys individually and just understand what the deductibles are and so forth. And that's the kind of thing as far as making certain that we're comparing apples all across here. Or that you get with them and get that, at any rate, that we have that information.
That'll be fine.
Okay, motion, Commissioner Morales, to table item 8A until, what is that meeting?
September 24th.
September 24th at 9 a.m. For a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Wiley. Any discussion on the table? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So item 8A is tabled until September 24th at 9 a.m. Okay, now we're going to 8B, county road repairs.
Okay, Judge, I'll pass those out, looking through the bid packet, we're not voting on that until the 24th also of September, so. Yeah,
Okay.
today was only open to bid, so we did a comparison, went through them all, official files, we go check. So we're, everyone can see that. I guess I should do that.
Judge, do I need a motion or do we just,
What's that?
on this one?
Well, I can go ahead and read out
Well,
the bids.
the bid invitation said the September 24th.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Doesn't have
fine.
to
We
Yeah,
don't
we're
need
fine.
nothing else,
Okay.
it's already on there.
And the bids have been open, so we're through with item 8.
So we're doing
Unless y'all have any
You can-
discussion.
you
You can read the bids out.
You gotta read the bids,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Okay, so.
Go ahead.
Precinct 2 was going out for 200 miles of work. We had bids from 4 different contractors. Double Rafter H Construction bid $21,500 a mile. For addendum number 1, Commissioner Powell, correct me, it's for material only, is that correct?
That's correct. That's mixed material and hauling.
Okay, that was $23.28 per ton. Our next contractor that bid was Q-Haul Incorporated. They bid $11,990 per mile. For addendum 1, it was $16.80 per ton. Next contractor was Reed Construction. They bid $9,200 per mile. They did not bid on addendum number 1. And our final bid was with J.D. Hughes Construction. They bid $21,000 per mile, with the addendum was $18.25 per ton.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, then moving forward, now we will go. Item number 19, Leanne Hoshek, EMC, 90 sharing application for revised plan of Los Colombos Country Club Estates subdivision sections 1, lot